Alright, so we are going to discuss Chapter 7 Immune System Part A on MCQ question. So we are going to try to cover this question during this session. So for the first question, can the first person, Zurnu Atik, can you read the question, give us the answer and explain a bit on your choice of answer?
Which of the following is not a phagocyte? The answer is A. Basophils. Yang lain semua tu phagocyte.
So what is a phagocyte?
A.
What is a phagocyte? Apa tu phagocyte? Jawapan dia A, tapi what do you understand on phagocyte or phagocytic cell?
Phagocyte tu dia kill pathogen through phagocytosis.
Okay, so phagocytes are white blood cells that kill pathogen by engulfing the pathogen through the process of phagocytosis ataupun endocytosis. Okay, so we have here eosinophil, neutrophil and macrophage, and then you have another type of phagocyte. Apa dia? Kita ada 4 sebenarnya. What is the other one?
Dendritic cells.
So dendritic cell, okay? So dendritic cell. So phagocyte, it involves in which line of defense? That the first line defense, which is barrier defense. Second line defense, which is internal defense. Kita ada third line defense, which is adaptive or acquired immune response. So which one? First line, second line, third line. External, internal ataupun acquired.
Second line defense.
Second line defense. Okay. So kena ingat kalau for your immune response, we have 3 line of defense. First line defense, second line defense and third line defense. For phagocyte or phagocytic cell, it involves in the second line defense, which is internal defense. So kalau second line defense kita ada 4 kan, which is apa dia? Phagocytic cell. Okay, phagocytic cell. And then second is antimicrobial proteins such as interferons and also complement system, kan, complement protein. And then yang ketiga adalah natural killer cells, okay, that kills infected body cells. And then the fourth one is inflammatory response. That is the 4 components of the second line defense that you have to know. Okay, so second line defense. So kalau tengok macrophage and dendritic, dia terlibat juga dalam third line defense actually, kan. So dia ada overlap. So once macrophage ataupun dendritic cells engulf a pathogen, it can activate acquired immunity, macam tu. Okay, so dia ada overlap kat situ. Okay, so thank you Zur Atika. Second question, Wan Muhammad Adli. Adli kan, nama awak ni separuh dia keluar.
Which of the following is not the characteristic of B cell? I choose. Sekejap. Saya nak salah. I choose B.
B.
Sebab A, C dengan D tu semua tentang B cell.
So kalau if you look at statement B, arise in bone marrow and mature in the thymus. So this one is referring to which cell? T lymphocyte. Okay, T cell, the T cell. So the white blood cells are produced. Okay, they arise from the bone marrow. the B cell, the T cell, but the thymus, the T cell it matures in the thymus. Tapi kalau yang B cell it maintains and complete development in the bone marrow. Okay. So statement A, C, and D tu it explains on the characteristics of B cell. Detect specific antigen using receptor protein. Kita ada B cell kan? On the plasma membrane of B cell, it has receptor. Okay, receptor where the receptor has antigen binding site. Okay, antigen binding site that will bind to specific antigen. Okay, of a pathogen, right? To be specific, epitope lah, on antigen of a pathogen lah. Okay, so thank you, Adli. Number 3, Raja.
Both natural killer cells and cytotoxic T cells are involved in adaptive immunity. Jawab A.
Are you sure? Tadi saya baru cakap kalau second line defense, yang ketiga tu melibatkan natural killer cell kan?
Oh.
So adaptive immunity adalah third line. Jawab A tadi kan? So it cannot be. Kalau cytotoxic T cell, betul. Third line adaptive. Tapi kalau natural killer cell, it is second line defense. Okay, second line defense, internal defense. So interact with antigen presenting cell. Kalau kita tahu antigen presenting cell, it only interacts dengan apa? Does it interact with cytotoxic T cell? And natural killer cell?
Macam mana soalan tadi bila?
Kalau APC ni, APC terhasil daripada sel apa? Macrophage. Kan, macrophage. One that engulf pathogen, destroys the pathogen into fragments, and then presented the fragments on the cell membrane of the macrophage. Lepas tu baru dia jadi antigen presenting cell. So the antigen akan presented kepada siapa? Kepada helper T cell contohnya. Kan? So cannot be related to natural killer cell lah. Kan? Sebab antigen presenting cell terlibat dalam third line defense juga. So kalau C, provide slow response to viral infected cell. Slow response to viral infected cell, salah. Sebab kalau natural killer cell, dia terlibat dalam second line defense. Kalau second line defense, dia punya ciri dia apa? Rapid kan? Rapid response. So C salah. So kalau kita tengok yang D, destroys infected body cell by releasing toxic chemicals. So should this be the answer? So this is the answer actually kan. So natural killer cells dengan cytotoxic T cell, the function of these two cells is to destroy host cell that is infected by the virus or by the pathogen. Host cell dalam tu dah dimasuki oleh virus contohnya. So the host cell is being infected. So what happen next is that either the NK or the cytotoxic T cell will kill this infected body cell. Cumanya kalau cytotoxic T cell dia terlibat dalam third line. So it will only find specific pathogen sahaja. Okay, tapi kalau natural killer cell non-specific. Okay, tapi mekanisme dia lebih kurang sama. These two cells will find infected body cell, destroy the infected body cell by releasing two types of chemical. Toxic chemical tu lah, which is apa? The first one is perforin to make holes or pores on the infected body cell, and then they akan insert granzyme. Okay, granzyme that will induce apoptosis lah. Okay, apoptosis. So the answer should be D lah. Okay, destroy infected body cell. Ingat ya, these two cells, they will not destroy a pathogen directly, kan? So it destroys actually the infected body cells, okay, exposing the pathogen towards antibody or ataupun macrophage later to be engulfed. Okay. Faham boleh? Raja? Okay. Okay, so number 4. Raihana, can you try and do this question?
Figure 1 shows the result of Ali's blood test. Choose the correct statement referring to Ali's blood. My answer is B. Can be donated to recipients with blood type AB. Type AB can receive from all types of blood. Ali's blood tu show that dia ada blood type B sebab dia ada anti-B. Darah dekat B tu dia agglutinate.
Tadi ni blood type B lah ya. Syahira?
For question 5, which cells are not involved in humoral immune response? My answer is C, because A, B, and D they are involved in humoral immune response or antibody-mediated immunity. If cytotoxic T cell, it involved in cell-mediated response.
Cell-mediated immune response kan, kalau cytotoxic T cell. So plasma cell adalah activated B cell. Okay, the plasma cell is the cell that will produce antibody. Okay, antibody against that specific pathogen. Okay, specific pathogen. So sebab tu saya cakap tadi, hanya yang akan react terhadap foreign substance is the antibody of the host, of the recipient tadi. Okay. Okay, so the next question, number 6, Shazliana.
Which of the following is not a lymphocyte? My answer is B, eosinophil, sebab A, C and D dia either T lymphocyte or B lymphocyte, but B tu phagocyte.
Okay, lymphocyte dia terlibat dalam third line defense lah kan, ataupun acquired immunity. So lymphocyte kita ada B lymphocyte, kita ada T lymphocyte. T lymphocyte kita ada helper T cell and also cytotoxic T cell. Okay. Kalau if you notice in your notes, yang ini kan istilah ni dia letak T kat tengah berbanding apa dengan awak punya lecture note yang mana dia letak T dulu kan, T helper cell. T cytotoxic T cell, if you notice kan. So dia just dia benda yang sama, cuma istilah dia bezakan sikit. Sebab apa? Berpandukan kepada reference book yang berbeza. Kalau helper T cell ni rujukan dia adalah daripada buku Campbell. Okay, kalau yang dia letak T dulu, baru helper T cell, T helper cell, T cytotoxic T cell adalah pada buku rujukan yang awak guna. Awak guna buku rujukan apa yang awak beli dekat Asasi hari tu? What book did you refer to for biology? Apa? Kita tak beli?
Solomon ada.
Solomon kan? Solomon. So Solomon, istilah dia yang sama dengan awak punya lecture note. Yang dalam awak punya soalan ni, istilah tu dia ambil daripada buku Campbell. Macam tu. Tapi it refers to the same thing. Okay. Okay, so alright. Thank you tadi Shazliana. Next is number 7, Natasha.
Number 7. If the same pathogen attacks a person for a second time, which of the following cells are involved in rapid immune response? My answer is C, memory cell, sebab dia dah ada the memory untuk attack the same pathogen.
The same pathogen in the future lah kan. The same pathogen for the second infection or subsequent infection by the same pathogen lah. So memory cell is produced, okay, and stored in the lymph nodes, and dia punya jangka hayat dia lama kan. So it has a long lifespan. So that's why when you are infected by the same virus again in the future, you will not get sick. Okay, due to your body has already stored the the memory cell against that specific pathogen. Okay. So kalau kita tengok punya notes ni, yang ini yang membezakan dia ni. You have to understand this graph ni, kan? Okay, first exposure, second exposure. Yang first exposure dia menghasilkan primary immune response. Ingat ya, primary immune response dia tak sama dengan first line defense. Itu yang lain, itu external barrier. Okay, yang primary immune response ni dalam third line defense. First exposure to the new pathogen. So yang ini akan develop, dia akan ambil masa yang a little lama kan, dalam 2 minggu macam tu kan, 2 minggu macam ni kan, about 2 weeks kan. So that this is to allow the body to produce the antibody, to produce the memory cell. So bila dah ada memory cell, it is stored in the lymph nodes. When you are infected by the same virus again, so this will lead to secondary immune response yang melibatkan memory cell. So characteristics of memory cell adalah yang ni, dia lifespan dia lebih lama kan, lifespan dia lebih lama dan dia respond rapidly against the second exposure to the same virus or subsequent exposure to the same virus in the future. Okay, so dia melibatkan secondary immune response. Effector cell ni yang activated. Kalau untuk B cell, effector cell ni adalah plasma cell yang menghasilkan antibody tu kan. Alright. Okay, so thank you tadi siapa? Natasha. Number 8. Najwa.
Number 8, primary immune response is B, is lower than secondary immune response.
Kan?
This is because secondary immune response, your body has already make memory cells, so it will function rapidly when pathogens there.
So slower. Kalau primary immune response, the response is slower. When you are infected, awak akan sakit dulu, awak akan demam dulu, batuk dulu, whatever. Sementara badan awak develops immunity against that pathogen. Okay, by producing antibody and also the memory cell. Okay, so kalau faster ni is actually for secondary immune response yang melibatkan memory cell. Okay, kalau slower, effector cell. Okay. Number 9. Nabila.
Number 9. How does cytotoxicity cells fight infection? C. Secret antibodies to bind with antigens.
Tengok balik ni tadi. Secret antibody to bind with antigen. Itu tugas cytotoxic T cell ke? Saya dah explain kat sini tadi. Fungsi dia ni apa? Destroy infected body cell. Kan? So cytotoxic T cell dia terlibat dalam apa? Cell-mediated immune response. Cell-mediated immune response. So bila terlibat dalam cell-mediated immune response, it only destroys infected body cell. So mana satu sebenarnya? Kalau secret antibody is by the plasma cell. Plasma cell, which is the effector cell, which is involved in the humoral immune response. Kalau cytotoxic T cell, dia terlibat dalam cell-mediated immune response by destroying infected body cell. So yang mana?
Engulf and digest pathogens.
Dia tak engulf tadi kan? Dia tak, the cytotoxic T cell, as I mentioned, it does not destroy pathogen directly. Saya dah bagi clue dah. Cytotoxic T cell destroys infected body cell. So your answer should be which one? Mana? Jawapan yang paling dekat dengan statement saya tu. Destroys infected body cells using perforin and also granzyme.
A.
A, lysis. Pecah kan? So, infected body cell will bind to infected body cell using MHC kan, using MHC, and then releases two types of chemical, which is perforin to make pores kan. Once pores is produced, then granzyme is inserted into the infected body cell and causes apoptosis, okay, natural cell death, okay, ataupun cell suicide. So the answer for 9 is A. Okay. So awak kena ingat ya, kalau third line defense, saya repeat, third line defense, okay, which is acquired immune response, kan, acquired immune response ataupun adaptive immune response dia sama je, kan, third line defense ataupun istilah lain dia acquired immune response ataupun adaptive immune response. So third line defense ni terbahagi, cabang dia ada dua. Satu adalah humoral immune response yang melibatkan B cell. Kalau cell-mediated immune response, dia melibatkan the cytotoxic T cell. Kedua-dua ni kan, humoral immune response dengan cell-mediated immune response, untuk activatekan the B cell ataupun cytotoxic T cell ni, dia perlukan macrophage, contohnya engulfing the pathogen. The macrophage that engulf the pathogen becomes APC. APC then presented the antigen kepada siapa? Helper T cell. Helper T cell dan akan secrete cytokines. So these cytokines akan activatekan either B cell ataupun cytotoxic T cell. Kalau pathogen tu, if the pathogen is roaming inside in your body fluid apa? Blood, lymph and also interstitial fluid. Kalau pathogen tu berada dalam your body fluid outside of your body cells, okay, outside of your body cells, in your body fluid, dia melibatkan humoral immune response yang melibatkan penghasilan antibody oleh plasma cell. Plasma cell hasilkan antibody, circulate in your body fluid to bind to pathogen that are found in your body fluid. Tapi kalau cell-mediated immune response, once the cytokine from helper T cell activate the cytotoxic T cell akan find infected body cell that is infected by that specific pathogen tu. Okay? So by destroying the infected body cells using perforin and also granzyme. Okay, so yang akan induce apoptosis. So bila host cell tu dah destroy, this exposes the pathogen, kan? So exposes the pathogen, dia tak lagi ada dalam host cell, dia expose. So nanti circulating antibody akan bind and then causes the pathogen to be inactive, and then akan come along the macrophage to engulf and destroy the pathogen. Macam tu. Okay. So boleh faham tak dia punya flow dia? So nanti you just refer back to this diagram here. Kan? So this diagram, it explains basically macam mana third line defense work. Kan? Third line defense, acquired immunity, ada dua. Antibody mediated and cell mediated immune response. Antibody ada sama juga dengan humoral immune response. Antibody melibatkan B cell, cell mediated melibatkan cytotoxic T cell. Cytotoxic T cell, kalau tengok kat bawah ni, dia defend against intracellular pathogen and cancer. Intracellular pathogen maksudnya pathogen yang ada dalam host cell tu. Okay, by destroying the host cell using granzyme and perforin. Kalau antibody mediated immune response, dia attack extracellular pathogen that are found in your body fluid, tak masuk lagi dalam awak punya sel badan. Okay, so you just look at this diagram and then cuba fahamkan. Kalau tengok helper T cell, dia digunakan untuk activate the cell mediated and antibody mediated immune response by activating cytotoxic and B cell also. Faham So you just tengok balik gambar rajah ni. Kalau tengok balik gambar rajah ni, cuba fahamkan, then you will understand on the third line defense ni. Okay. If you have question, you can ask. Okay, kalau tak, saya akan isi awak faham dan kita akan proceed lah dengan soalan seterusnya. Okay, so tadi siapa? Nabila kan? So next, number 10, Janatul.
Number 10, identify which disease shows this characteristic. Shortage or absence of B and T cells, become susceptible to pneumonia and meningitis, can be treated by bone marrow and stem cell transplantation. My answer is D, severe combined immunodeficiency disease, SCID. SCID ni is an inborn immunodeficiency that are categorized in immunodeficiency disease.
Kenapa penyakit ni dia guna istilah immunodeficiency? Daripada characteristics dia kan, absence or shortage of B and T cell. That's why immunodeficiency. The body is lacking defense mechanism by the B and the T cell. But for SCID ni, it is inborn, daripada lahir lagi kan penyakit ni. Inborn. This one here. Okay. So daripada lahir lagi. Kalau acquired, later in life, it is induced. Macam contohnya, AIDS disebabkan oleh virus HIV. Macam tu. Kan kalau severe daripada lahir lagi. Disebabkan oleh sama ada genetic or developmental defect. Okay. So, that is immunodeficiency. Your body is lacking the defense mechanism. Either lacking the lymphocyte kan. So ataupun kalau AIDS ni, the HIV akan destroy helper T cell. So tadi kita tengok kalau helper T cell destroyed, macam mana dia nak aktifkan B cell, macam mana dia nak aktifkan cytotoxic T cell. So the humoral immune response will be affected. Same goes to the cell-mediated also be affected. So tak boleh nak menghasilkan antibody macam tu, tak boleh nak destroy pathogen, right? So that's why for a person that have AIDS, dia cakap kat sini, so the person is susceptible to infection and also cancer. Sebab the body is lacking the protection, the immune response tu. Okay, tapi kalau untuk autoimmune disease terbalik pula. Your immune system attacks your own body cells, your own antigen, self-antigen. That is autoimmune disease. Okay, dia terlebih aktif pula kat situ kan. Alright. So ada dua. Autoimmune disease lacking. Immunodeficiency is lacking. Kalau autoimmune disease, your immune system attacking your own body cell. Okay, salah satu adalah contohnya rheumatoid arthritis lah, where the antibody of that person attacks joints kan. So selalu akan sakit kat joints, dekat finger, dekat buku lali ataupun tumit ke ataupun lutut ke at joints. Okay, that is rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, number 11, Alice.
Major histocompatibility complex is a protein that displays antigen fragments. Saya confuse antara C atau
Okay. MHC. Awak jawab apa tadi? C kan?
C.
Okay. Major histocompatibility complex ni, siapa punya? Host cell ke ataupun the pathogen? Host cell. Okay. So kalau tengok dekat awak punya notes ni, kita ada dua jenis MHC. Class 1 MHC and also class 2 MHC. So these MHC are proteins produced by the host cell. Kalau class 1, okay, class 1 MHC, it is produced by all nucleated cell and it is recognized by cytotoxic T cell. Okay, so maksudnya if your body is infected by the virus infected your body cell, so the fragments of the virus will be or the pathogen will be presented on the surface of the infected cell. Okay, so dia akan present using MHC molecule. Kalau kita tengok kat sini, kita tengok class 1 dulu Here. Yang ini. Okay, so this is infected host cell, infected body cell ke host cell ke samalah kan, infected body cell. So infected body cell dalam tu ada virus. So the virus will be fragmentized into fragments which is antigen. So these antigen fragments will be presented on the surface of the host cell using the MHC molecule. In this case, it is the class 1. Okay, class 1 MHC. So dia akan present using class 1 which is a protein. Dia akan present kepada siapa? Kepada cytotoxic T cell, supaya cytotoxic T cell ni dia punya receptor will bind to the antigen presented by the infected body cell, dan dia akan menyebabkan tindak balas tadilah yang the release of perforin and also granzyme causing cell death. Okay, ataupun inducing apoptosis. Itu kalau class 1. Kalau class 2, dia terhasil oleh dia terhasil oleh sama ada B cell ataupun macrophage ataupun dendritic cell yang akan bertukar menjadi APC. Kan? So maksudnya kalau macam macrophage dia roaming inside your body fluid, and then the macrophage found a pathogen. So they engulf, fragmentize the pathogen into fragments or antigen, presented the antigen on the cell surface using class 2. Okay, class 2. Present kepada siapa? Present kepada helper T cell. Supaya receptor pada helper T cell will bind to the antigen presented by the APC, supaya helper T cell ni will be activated by and secreting cytokine. The cytokine will activate either B cell ataupun cytotoxic T cell. Macam tu. So, kena ingat ya, class 2, sel yang akan menjadi APC. Kalau class 1, untuk all nucleated cells. Okay. Faham boleh? So, ini adalah sebenarnya protein of host cell. So, kalau tengok kan, ni gambar rajah dia. Alright. Inilah dia perbezaan class 1 and class 2. Daripada gambar rajah ni, you can differentiate. Okay. Kalau statement dia, a cell that displays antigen MHC complex on its surface ni cannot be. Sebab ini boleh refer kepada sama ada APC kalau dia melibatkan class 2 ataupun infected body cell kalau dia melibatkan class 1. Okay. So, number 12. Tadi siapa, Alice ke? And next is Alia.
Number 12. Sweden is infected by pathogen D. 6 days later, his blood is infected by pathogen E. Which cells are used for the immune response against pathogen E? Soalan ni saya tak sure sangat, madam. Saya jawab B.
Naive T cell. Oh, maksud naive Naive maksudnya it is not activated yet. It is circulating in your body. It is not yet activated. The activated one baru kita panggil dia sebagai plasma cell, ataupun kalau lagi satu kalau ni adalah the memory cell lah. So then is infected by pathogen D. 6 days later his blood is extracellular pathogen. Kan? So tadi saya cakap kalau extracellular pathogen dia melibatkan B cell. Faham tak?
Faham.
Tapi so kita dah boleh eliminate the naive T cell lah kan. Naive T cell dia akan attack infected body cell. Kalau memory pula, ni kita boleh eliminate. Kalau memory untuk second exposure kan. Kalau sudah infected by pathogen D, 6 days later his blood is infected by E. So ini adalah virus yang baru. Kan, pathogen yang baru. E ni adalah yang baru. So, bila E, dia melibatkan apa? Primary immune response. Kan? Tak melibatkan memori lagi. Faham Memori yang terlibat adalah secondary immune response. Faham? Boleh? Ada yang tak faham? Boleh tanya.
Faham. Faham, Madam.
Kita buat lagi satu soalan. Kita buat sampai 15 boleh Sikit je lagi. Number 13. Fatri. Number 13 please. Ada tak Fakri? Amin please. Number 13.
Apoptosis of programmed cell death can be induced by one of the internal defense mechanism. Which cells is involved in this defense? Natural killer cells. Saya tak tahu sangat ada.
Apoptosis yang tadi sama ada natural killer cell ataupun cytotoxic T cell destroys infected body cell. Apoptosis is programmed cell death. It causes infected body cell to be destroyed, okay, by the release of perforin and also granzyme. Okay, so apoptosis or programmed cell death can be induced by one of the internal defense mechanism. Internal defense mechanism adalah apa? Second line defense. Second line defense. Okay, second line defense yang melakukan proses ni adalah hanya NK. Tapi kalau soalan ni instead of dia cakap internal defense, dia tukar kepada acquired immunity. So kalau dia letak natural killer cell dan lagi satu dia letak cytotoxic T cell. So the answer would be cytotoxic T cell. Tak boleh natural killer cell. Natural killer cell dalam second line ataupun internal defense. Kalau cytotoxic T cell juga melibatkan apoptosis tapi dia adalah third line. Faham? Boleh So saya harap boleh differentiate antara second line and third line ni. Natural killer cell, cytotoxic T cell, kedua-duanya melibatkan apoptosis. Natural killer cell dalam second line, cytotoxic dalam third line. Okay, So number 14, Amin, another Amin.
Number 14, various defenses include the following except C, natural killer cells, because natural killer cells the second line which is internal defense.
So barrier adalah first line, skin, sweat, tears, mucous membrane. Okay. So last question, Hana, untuk your group. Number 15. Nak awak rosak tak boleh nak on. Okay, tak apa. Okay. So number 15, cytotoxic T cell stop hepatitis B infection in infected liver cell by, jawapan awak jap tadi apa? A, lysis of infected liver cell. Betul lah. Betul tak? Kan? So sebab dia makan cytotoxic T cell that destroys infected body cell, in this case is the liver cell.
Discovered that he has ALB or nor T cells due to genetic disorder. This disorder known as B multiple sclerosis.
Okay. Mana awak dapat punya jawapan ni? Where did you refer to? Okay, so if you look at this question, okay, it says a 1-week-old baby is suspected of having pneumonia. Doctors discovered that he has neither B or T cells due to genetic disorder. So this disorder is actually known as SCID actually. Okay, so multiple sclerosis is a type of disease also related to autoimmune disease. Keempat-empat disease dia AIDS, SCID, lupus, multiple sclerosis are diseases related to your immune system. So your immune system, the disease related to your immune system is divided into two actually. Okay. So satu adalah yang kita groupkan dia under immunodeficiency. Okay, immunodeficiency. Immunodeficiency, it means that your immune system is lacking and cannot protect your body against infection of foreign of pathogens. Okay, that is immunodeficiency. Immune deficiency, kekurangan. So kekurangan maybe dari segi kalau in this case is lacking. The baby doesn't have any B or T cell. B and T cell, as we know, are the two lymphocytes involved in the third line defense, acquired immunity, which is to protect your body against specific pathogen. Okay, so kalau tak ada, macam mana badan awak nak protect against specific pathogen that might cause pneumonia, for example. Okay, so the answer is CID. So SCID. So if you can refer to your notes, dia ada dekat slide hujung-hujung. This one here. Okay, so immunodeficiency disease dia terbahagi kepada dua kat sini, which is satu adalah inborn immunodeficiency congenital. It means that lahir-lahir memang dah ada penyakit tu. Okay, so can be a result of genetic ataupun developmental defects. So example adalah SCID ni lah. So shortage or absence of B and T cell, the person is susceptible to pneumonia or meningitis that can be fatal and then can be treated by bone marrow stem cell. So maksudnya lahir-lahir memang dah ada penyakit ni. Tapi another one is acquired immunodeficiency. Acquired, it means that you get the disease later on in life due to exposure of certain antigen or certain substance, okay, certain chemical. Alright, so that is acquired, you gain later in your life. Okay, so due to exposure to certain chemicals or biological agent such as cancers, drugs to fight autoimmune diseases or drugs to prevent transplanted rejection. Okay, so kalau tadi saya cakap kan ada dua jenis kan penyakit yang berkaitan dengan immune system. Satu adalah immunodeficiency, kekurangan badan awak untuk melindungi daripada infection. Okay, your immune system. Satu lagi lah autoimmune disease. Okay, autoimmune disease is when your body immune system, such as your antibody produced by your immune system, attacks your own body cell. That is autoimmune disease. The contra. Autoimmune disease terlebih pula kan. So the antibody produced by your immune system attacks your own body cell. Such as for example, rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, rheumatoid arthritis where the antibody attacks joints, or multiple sclerosis where you have the T cell attacks myelin sheath. Okay, myelin sheath of neurons. So this will slow down the transmission of impulse. That is multiple sclerosis ataupun lupus. Okay, lupus where your immune system attacks your organs. Kan? It attacks your body tissues. Body organs, that is lupus. Okay. So kalau if we look at your notes here, lupus, multiple sclerosis, dia adalah autoimmune. Sorry. immune disease. Okay, autoimmune disease. Kalau SCID, AIDS adalah immunodeficiency. Okay, immunodeficiency. Okay, so you have to know. Tapi in this case, in the case given in the question, it is SCID, where the baby that is born, the baby is lacking B and T cell, and the baby easily affected or easily infected by pneumonia. Okay. So thank you tadi Sharifah. Okay. Umar dia keluar masuk, maybe dia punya line tak stable. Okay, so number 17, Siti Nur Syafiqah.
The first line of defense against disease-causing organism includes. My answer is A, the intact skin.
Okay, intact skin, betul lah. So first line defense is also known as what? First line defense, apa nama lain dia kita boleh panggil? Barrier defense. Okay, barrier defense or external defense. Okay, so the first line defense, second line defense, third line defense. First line and second line, dia adalah innate immunity. Okay, innate immunity, it means that it protects your body against non-specific pathogen. Okay, so whatever pathogen that tries to enter into your body, it is protected by the innate immunity. First and second line defense. First line defense or external barrier. External defense, okay, includes your skin, secretion from mucous membranes, kan? So those are first line defense. Tears, saliva, okay. So that is first line defense. Kalau second line defense, dia yang C ni. Okay, C ni adalah second line defense. Touch and kill mechanism. Touch and kill mechanism is actually third line defense. What is touch and kill mechanism? Touch and kill boleh dua boleh daripada dua jenis. Dia boleh third line, dia boleh second line defense. Dia bergantung kepada sel. Kalau dia melibatkan cytotoxic T cell, dia adalah third line defense. Okay. Kalau touch and kill melibatkan cytotoxic T cell, dia adalah third line. Kalau touch and kill mechanism done by the natural killer cell, dia adalah second line defense. Apa tu? What is touch and kill? These two cell, NK, natural killer cell ataupun cytotoxic T cell, they will find infected body cell, attached to that infected body cell, and then releases two types of chemical, which is perforin, to form holes or pores on the plasma membrane of the infected body cell. And then another chemical is then released, which is granzyme. So granzyme will be inserted into the infected body cell and causes a reaction to occur, which is one of it is apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. Okay, programmed cell death. It causes the infected body cell to be lysed or destroyed. Okay, so that is touch and kill mechanism. Kalau yang D tu, the release of antibody by B cell, this is obviously acquired immunity or third line defense. Okay, acquired immunity or third line defense yang melibatkan apa? Humoral immune response, where the B cell, the plasma cell, releases secretes antibody to your body fluid to find any specific pathogen, okay, for that antibody. Okay, so that is the answer. So 17, first line defense adalah your skin. Okay, the skin. Okay, so 18. Kita balik kepada Umar. Are you stable dah ke belum? Okay, 18.
18. Which of the following cells is responsible in secreting mucus in the respiratory system? My answer is C, goblet cells.
Okay, so respiratory system including for example the trachea, kan? So the trachea, you have goblet cell to secrete mucus, to produce mucus, and then as you breathe in air that contains maybe pollutants or contaminants, so the mucus will trap all these pollutant or contaminant or pathogen, okay, and then prevents this pathogen from getting deep into your lung. And then apa lagi yang akan line your respiratory tract selain ada goblet cell? Dia akan ada apa? Cilia. Okay, goblet cell and cilia lining the respiratory tract. So once the mucus produced by the goblet cell trap the contaminants, okay, so the cilia will swipe this mixture of goblet and this mixture of mucus with the contaminant upward until it enters into the esophagus and swallowed, okay, swallowed and gets into the stomach to be destroyed by the acids in the stomach, okay. Itu kalau untuk respiratory system. So dia ada goblet cell, dia ada juga cilia, okay. Okay, so number 19, Shirley.
Okay. What is the main function of immune system? My answer is C. Defend the body from invading organism.
Okay, so that is obvious answer lah. So thank you, Shirley. The main function of immune system is to defend body from invading organism. Invading organism, or we can also call it as pathogen. So dekat pathogen dekat surface dia akan ada antigen or any molecules. Okay, any molecules produced from the pathogen, we can call it as antigen. Even the toxin. Okay, even the toxin, the molecule of that pathogen, we call it as antigen. So this antigen will trigger your immune system to be activated, okay, against that pathogen. Kalau kita belajar nanti, sebab kita tak cover lagi kan, this is the virus kan, so dia akan ada antigen on the surface, for example, okay. So dekat molekul ni akan ada lagi specific structure yang detail dia kan. So this is what we call it as epitope, okay, epitope on antigen of a pathogen. Actually, receptor or antibody, okay, receptor of lymphocyte, either B cell or T cell, yang akan bind kepada epitope of the antigen of the pathogen. Kita panggil dia sebagai epitope. Kalau kita tengok kat nota awak ada tak? Ni. Okay, so antigen molecule. So antigen molecule is molecule from the pathogen. Okay, it can be toxin dia or whatever molecules that comes from that pathogen. So antigen molecule ada structure yang lebih detail dia, kecil dia lagi. We call it as epitope. So the antibody, the binding site of the antibody or the antigen binding site of receptor of B cell or T cell yang akan bind kepada epitope of antigen of that pathogen. Okay. Ada tak is the definition of epitope? Nah ni, okay, epitope ni. Antigenic determinants. Okay, tapi dia tak bagi. Only how you can refer to the definition of epitope in your reference book dekat dalam glossary kat belakang. I cannot find the definition for epitope here yet. Okay, tak apa. So that is epitope, okay? Okay, alright, so thank you tadi Shirley. Next 20 is Rashida.
Which of the following is not involved in the first line defense? The answer is D, phagocytes.
Dia terlibat dalam mana? Kalau bukan first line?
Second line defense.
Second line defense ataupun internal defense. Okay. Internal defense, ingat dia ada 4. 1, phagocyte atau phagocytic cell. 2 adalah antimicrobial protein. Okay, antimicrobial protein such as interferon ataupun complement protein yang kita tengok semalam tu. Lepas tu kita ada apa? NK, natural killer cell, and the last one is inflammatory response. fever is one of example of inflammatory response. Okay. Phagocytes kita ada berapa jenis? 4 kan? Kita ada apa? Kita ada macrophage, dendritic cell, neutrophil and also lagi satu apa? Eosinophil. Okay. Eosinophil, apart from it engulf pathogen, it can also destroy multicellular parasite. Okay. Dia juga boleh destroy multicellular parasite. That is eosinophil. Okay. Okay, so thank you Rashida. 21, Nurul Izzatul Hidayah.
Organ transplants procedures can be highly successful if the donor and recipient are, I'm not sure, but my answer is C, father and daughter.
Father and daughter? Daughter tu boleh ada combination of elements or genetic combination between the father and also mother kan? So, mana yang lagi dekat sebenarnya? Is it father and daughter ataupun yang mana?
B good.
Identical twins. Kan? So, identical twins is the answer. Okay, identical twins. Sebab apa? Maybe dia punya antigen, they are the same kan? So, the genetic composition is almost the same. So, when self-antigen are the same, dia punya MHC yang terhasil pun sama kan. Kita tak tengok lagi pasal MHC. MHC adalah marker. Okay? MHC adalah marker yang akan presentkan antigen pada immune system awak. Kan? So identical twins is the answer. Okay, so organ transplanted procedure can be highly successful if the donor and recipient are identical twins. Okay, so dia lagi dekat, right? Okay, so 22. Siapa tadi? Fatihah.
Which of the following is not a phagocyte? My answer is A, basophil.
Okay, basophil je yang bukan phagocyte. Yang lain ni adalah phagocyte. 3 ni. Lagi satu apa? Kita ada 4 jenis phagocytes.
Dendritic cell.
Dendritic cell. Okay. So thank you. Fatihah. Next, Fakihah. 23.
If Malik has the following symptoms, he most probably suffers from. My answer is A, dengue.
Okay, dengue. So ini pun straight daripada punya lecture note lah. So these are the symptoms for if a person has dengue. So vomiting, swollen gland, severe headache, pain behind the eyes and also muscle joint. Basically, you have to remember lah for this one. Okay. So thank you, Fakihah. Next, 24, Yasmin.
Children can be born with a condition called severe combined immune deficiency, SID, characterized by a lack of T lymphocytes. Which of the following would be a possible cure for SID? C, bone marrow transplantation.
So tadi dia ada SCID ni, SIDS ni, dia fall under which category of immune disease? Immunodeficiency ataupun autoimmune disease? Autoimmunodeficiency. Okay. Sorry, immunodeficiency. So lacking the lymphocyte. Okay. So lacking doesn't have. Okay. All low number. Okay. Shortage or absence. Okay, shortage or absence of the lymphocyte. B and T lymphocyte. Okay, so 25.
25. Which phagocytic cells migrate to the lymph nodes after they encountered pathogens? My answer is D. Dendritic cells.
Okay, so they will travel to the lymph nodes, so dendritic cell. Dendritic cell dalam second line defense dan juga third line defense. Okay, so when macrophage or dendritic cell engulf a pathogen, okay, so these two cells will become a cell we call it as APC, antigen presenting cell. So when these two cells engulf a pathogen, so inside these two cells, the pathogen will be degraded, okay, into fragments, into antigen fragments. So the antigen fragment will be presented on the surface of these two cells. So that's why dia akan jadi antigen presenting cell. These two cells presents antigen of the pathogen to another immune cell, which is the helper T cell. Okay, so detail kita akan tengok nanti on our next lecture. Okay, so these two cell akan terlibat dalam kedua-dua ni. Second and third line defense. Okay, so 26. Tadi Sufia. Syakira ada ke?
Belum, madam.
Okay.
Sufia terlangkau.
Okay. Apa?
Sorry.
Right, apa?
Tak apa. Okay, for 26, I'm not sure about this answer, madam. But I choose the correct match between the antigen-antibody interaction and its description. I put A.
So betul lah tu A. Macam nak tahu A atau refer nota?
Yes.
Okay, so good effort lah. Okay, so choose the correct match between antigen-antibody interaction and its description. Okay, kita tahu kan kalau the third line defense, dia melibatkan salah satunya adalah humoral immune response ataupun antibody-mediated immune response. Jadi kita terus recap belajar buat revision ke ataupun untuk next lecture, prepare untuk next lecture lah. So humoral immune response dia melibatkan B cell. So B cell ni when it is activated dia akan menghasilkan plasma cell. The effector B cell, plasma cell. Plasma cell ni lah yang akan menghasilkan antibody. Antibody ni lah yang akan circulate dalam awak punya body fluid, darah, lymph and also interstitial fluid. Okay, so when the antibody circulate in your body fluid to find that specific pathogen, so when the antibody has find that specific pathogen, antibody dia tak boleh nak matikan terus or destroy directly the pathogen. That is not the function of the antibody. Antibody, remember, it cannot destroy directly the pathogen. Mechanism posed by the antibody, dia ada beberapa cara. Salah satu dia adalah opsonization, neutralization and activation of complement system. Opsonization ni dia terbahagi kepada dua pula, which is agglutination and also precipitation. Okay, so what the antibody does is that, okay, kita ada virus, the virus ada antigen tu tadi. Okay, antigen, specific molecule that the antibody will bind to. So antibody yang dah terhasil specific for this antigen of the virus, so this antibody akan bind. So the binding of this antibody to the virus, okay, at the antigen region causes, dia boleh lead kepada opsonization. What is opsonization? Bila antibody bind kepada virus, opsonization is when the antibody that binds to the antigen akan promote phagocytosis by macrophage. Bila pathogen ni dah bind kepada antibody dah bind kepada virus, dia akan enhance the process of phagocytosis. Might be dia akan menyebabkan the pathogen to be clumped together. Macam tu, clumped together, cannot move, so that nanti bila macrophage datang, the macrophage can come and then engulf. So that's why antibody dia tak boleh nak destroys the pathogen directly. Dia hanya membantu, contohnya process phagocytosis by macrophage. Okay, okay, so ingat yang opsonization terbagi kepada dua. Satu agglutination and satu lagi adalah precipitation. Agglutinate lah. It cause the virus to clump together, cannot move, to be inactivated, for example. Okay. Precipitation untuk antigen yang dissolve dalam body fluid awak, dissolve. So by binding, antigen binds to the antibody. It causes the dissolved antigen to be precipitated. Okay, daripada dissolve, precipitate, so that the macrophage can come and then engulf. Macam itulah. And then the second mechanism adalah neutralization. So neutralization is when antibody binds to toxin and prevent them from entering host cell. Okay, so kalau dah that is another way of causing the virus or the pathogen to be inactivated. So once the antibody binds to the pathogen can not enter into the host cell anymore. So tak perlulah nanti nak undergo cell-mediated immune response, so that the cytotoxic can kill the infected cell. So tak perlulah dah kan, sebab siap-siap dah ada antibody to protect from the virus infecting the host cell through neutralization. Okay. And then lagi satu adalah activation of complement system. So complement system macam lebih kurang yang kita tengok antimicrobial protein lah. So kalau kita tengok kat nota awak ni, so it is here. In this slide, macam ni. Okay. Neutralization, agglutination, precipitation, activation of complement system. Agglutination, precipitation ni adalah opsonization. Okay, opsonization. Okay. So kalau yang activation of complement system ni, okay. So ini adalah plasma membrane of virus tu. Plasma membrane of virus or pathogen. Dekat plasma membrane of virus of pathogen akan ada antigen molecule lah. So this antigen molecule will bind to antibody. Kan, antibody that is circulating in your body fluid. This combination, this complex antibody-antigen complex ni will trigger complement system to be activated, and then this complement system macam kita tengok dekat second line defense hari tu, when it is activated, it will be inserted into the membrane of the virus or pathogen and causing the formation of pores. Okay, so once pores has been formed on the plasma membrane of the virus, then water or ions can enter into the pathogen cell and causes the cell to swell and then lyse. Okay. Itu cara macam mana antibody membantu protect. Okay, how the antibody helps to protect your body against infection of that specific virus or pathogen. Okay, so itulah dia. So you have to know the explanation for each of these. Okay, so the answer would be A. Okay, so nanti awak tengok balik lecture note, fahamkan semula. Okay, so thank you Shakira. Next, 27, Munira. Ni pun kita tak cover lagi, so let's see if you could answer this correctly. Munira. Ada Munira? No, Munira Huda. No. So next, Farha.
Choose the event in secondary immune response for the individual that is exposed to the same antigen after several years. My answer is C, 2 and 3.
C. Okay. Boleh explain sikit tak? Kalau awak faham apa yang awak jawab tu. Cuba try.
From what I understand, since the individual has already exposed to the same antigen before this, the antibody response should be faster.
Boleh lah, okay lah, betul lah. Okay, so alright, your third line defense ni kan, acquired immunity ni, dia melibatkan dua phase. Satu, yang pertamanya adalah primary immune response. Primary immune response is when your body is first time infected by a specific virus. Virus A contohnya. Virus A pertama kali masuk dalam badan awak, so dia akan menyebabkan primary immune response. Primary immune response ni, dia adalah proses yang mana badan awak ni akan aktifkan spesifik lymphocyte B ataupun T cell against that virus. Okay, against that virus. So masa nak activatekan your immune system, it takes time. Macam tadilah macrophage datang engulf contohnya, and then dia jadi APC, and then perlukan helper T cell binding to the antigen, and then the helper T cell secrete cytokines, activate that specific B cell ataupun specific T cell, and then that B cell ataupun T cell akan proliferate dengan banyaknya, and then dia akan jadi two colonies effector cell dan juga memory cell. Okay, so cerita dia panjang, lama kan. So for the primary immune response, the response is slower. So kalau kita tengok kat yang statement yang pertama ni, it doesn't match the characteristics of secondary immune response. Secondary kena rapid. Okay, kalau slower response ni adalah primary immune response. Okay, primary immune response. Awak jangan confusekan dia dengan first line defense, lain. Okay, ini adalah primary immune response dalam third line defense. Okay, your body is infected by that specific virus for the first time. Okay, so bila dah terhasilnya memory cell ni, memory cell will then be stored in the lymph nodes, and the lifespan of memory cell is long. Okay, memory cell ni dia punya jangka hayat dia lama, dan dia akan distorekan dalam lymph nodes, for example. So when your body is infected again by the same virus in the future, okay, for the second or subsequent time, baru dia akan trigger secondary immune response. Ciri secondary immune response is that the response is rapid. So dia tak boleh nak slow, rapid, kan, rapid. Sebab apa? Sebab apa rapid? Sebab dah ada dah memory cell against that specific virus. Bila dah ada memory cell ni, this memory cell will be activated, dan dia akan undergo clonal selection lagi. Dia akan membahagi lagi untuk hasilkan more of the memory cell, simpan balik, dan dia akan menghasilkan effector cell for that virus. Effector cell, contohnya plasma cell, terus boleh menghasilkan antibody against that virus. Okay, so statement B betul lah kan untuk secondary immune response. Memory cell rapidly activated sebab dah terhasil and simpan dalam lymph nodes for many years. Okay, and then the response peaks about 2 to 7 days after exposure. When you are infected by the same virus again in the future, sebab dah adanya memory cell ni, badan awak tak sempat nak sakit. Okay, sebab dah ada memory cell, tak sempat nak demam ke whatever, batuk ke whatever, sebab dah ada dah memory cell ni dah boleh menghasilkan terus antibody against that virus. Kalau kita tengok kat awak punya nota, it is here. You can refer to this graph. Okay, graph. Tali padam pula. Tak apalah. Okay. So the blue graph here, as you can see, it shows you if you are infected by a new virus, it takes about 2 weeks. Okay, 2 or more weeks, 2 minggu lebih sikit kan, in order for you to respond to that virus, supaya nak allow your body to be able to produce antibody. So when you are infected by the virus for the first time, maybe awak akan demam dulu ke, batuk dulu ke, whatever. Awak akan sakit dulu sebelum your body develops immunity against that virus. That is primary immune response. Tapi when you are exposed again by the same virus, so the response is really rapid. Your body can produce antibody rapidly in high amount. Okay, right. So yang ni awak boleh refer lah the difference between primary immune response and also secondary immune response. Boleh faham? Tadi siapa? Siapa tadi? Okay Okay. So 28. Dania.
For 28, my answer is D, natural killer cell.
What is the function of perforin released by natural killer cell? To form what? Perforin. To form? Natural killer cell, it kills or destroys infected body cell or tumor cell. So what is the function? Natural killer cell ni dia akan release two types of chemical, perforin and also granzyme. What is the function of perforin? Released by the NK cell. Natural killer cell, NK.
Form pores.
Form pores dekat siapa?
Membrane of target cells.
Target cell tu siapa? Infected body cell lah, kan? The host cell. Okay, infected body cell ataupun tumor cell lah in this case. Okay, so once pores has been formed, lepas tu baru insert the next chemical molecule which is granzyme. Okay, granzyme that causes the cell to be destroyed. It leads to apoptosis. Okay, program cell death. Okay, so thank you. Tadi siapa? Dania. Next, Aisyah, 29.
Class 2 MHC can be found on, my answer is A, the macrophages.
Betul. Okay. Boleh awak explain sikit tak? Saya tahu kita tak cover lagi, tapi saya nak tahu apa yang awak faham pasal MSC ke whatever kat sini. What is MSC? MHC adalah apa? Protein molecule produced by the host cell.
It is encoded.
Okay, proceed Aisyah. Cuba explain balik.
MHC is a protein that it is encoded by a different.
Okay, tak apa. Okay, so bolehlah. MHC adalah, MHC ni dia ada dua jenis Ada MHC class 1. Okay, and also class 2. MHC. So these are protein molecule produced by the host cell. For MHC class 1, it is produced by all nucleated cell. All cell that has nucleus. Kalau MHC class 2 is phagocytes that engulf the pathogen, and the phagocyte will become APC. Okay, phagocyte yang akan menjadi APC, antigen presenting cell. So the antigen molecule will be presented by macrophage, for example, using class 2. Kalau kita tengok apa punya gambar rajah kat sini, dia dekat slide ni. Ni. Okay. So kalau tengok kat sini akan ada macrophage engulf the pathogen. When the pathogen is engulfed inside the macrophage, the pathogen will be degraded into fragments, into antigen fragment. So this antigen fragment will bind to this molecule, we call it as class 2 MHC. So dia akan bind forming antigen MHC complex. So kenapa nak kena buat mechanism ni, so that the antigen will be presented to helper T cell in this case. Kalau class 2, presented by APC, present kepada siapa? Helper. Helper akan buat apa? Dia akan secrete signaling molecule which is cytokines yang akan activatekan B cell ataupun cytotoxic T cell. Okay, for humoral immune response and also for cell-mediated immune response to be activated. Tapi kalau class 1, it presents antigen molecule by infected body cell. Okay, infected body cell produces class 1. So, the MSC akan bind dengan antigen fragment dan dia akan present kepada siapa? Dia akan exposekan the antigen molecule kepada cytotoxic T cell. So, this cytotoxic T cell, bila dah ada interaction between infected body cell and cytotoxic T cell akan secrete satu apa? Perforin, dua apa? Granzyme, and causes this infected body cell to undergo apoptosis ataupun programmed cell death to cause this infected cell to be destroyed lah, kan? So that is the difference between class 1 and class 2. You can refer to this note, to this slide. Okay. So the last question, number 30. Nabil.
Figure 2 shows the effect of an autoimmune disease. Identify this possible disease and its description. My answer is D. Rheumatoid arthritis. Cartilage and joints are damaged and inflamed.
Okay, inflamed. Okay. So, betul. Okay, so figure 2 shows the effects of autoimmune disease is when your immune system again is being attacked. Your immune system attack your body, your own body cell. It attacks self-antigen. Okay, self-antigen. Sebab tu awal-awal hari tu kita tengok one of the characteristics of immune system, it cannot attack self-antigen. It only attack non-self. Non-self ada pada pathogen, for example, anything that is foreign to your body. Okay. So self-antigen, kalau dia attack self-antigen, it can lead to autoimmune disease. SCID ni bukan autoimmune disease, tadi adalah immunodeficiency. AIDS bukan autoimmune disease, dia adalah immunodeficiency juga, acquired later in life. Okay. And then allergies. Allergies bukan autoimmune disease, dia adalah allergic reaction lah, kan. Nanti dalam nanti kita akan tengok. Selain daripada autoimmune disease, immunodeficiency, ada juga lagi satu adalah allergic reaction. Imbalance. Okay, imbalance. Imbalance in your immune system ni. Immunodeficiency, autoimmune disease and also allergies. Allergies ni bukan disebabkan oleh pathogen, disebabkan oleh molecules that enter into your body, yang kebanyakan orang dia okey je, tapi at certain people dia akan produce allergic reaction, macam contohnya pollen or certain foods. So that is allergic. Okay, allergic reaction. Okay, hypersensitivity respond to allergens. Okay. And then, so jawapan dia adalah rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, rheumatoid arthritis is when your antibody attacks your joints. So dekat fingers, any joints in your body. Okay. So that's the end of discussion for chapter 7 for MCQ question.